San Francisco has to be one of the most interesting teams across the entire NFL. They're absolutely stacked at every position, and despite not having a quarterback, they remain in the playoffs and Super Bowl hunt. For instance, if you even take last year for example, the Niners went through 4 quarterbacks, but nevertheless, thanks to their talented roster, they were able to make it all the way to the NFC Championship game. And the weird thing is, their offense looked the best with their third string quarterback, Brock Purdy. In this video, I hope to break down some of Brock Purdy's most impressive statistics and dispel some of the myths about Brock Purdy, like him just not being able to throw deep. Speaking about Brock Purdy's deep ball, one argument has been that he won't be able to challenge the defense deep, but this so far hasn't been the case in the NFL. According to Pro Football Focus, Brock Purdy threw the ball 20 yards or more on 11.6% of his pass attempts. That's like the middle pack of the NFL, and Jimmy Garoppolo only threw 9.1% of his passes above 20 yards, which ranked 31st across the entire NFL. Another thing that must be stated is how accurate Purdy actually is on those deep passes in comparison to a guy like Garoppolo. Purdy attempted just 1 fewer pass than Jimmy Garoppolo deep on those 20 yards or plus throws, but completed 3 more of them. He also converted 4 of those tosses into touchdowns compared to just 1 for Jimmy Garoppolo. And Purdy's completion percentage of 40.7% completion on throws of 20 plus yards was extremely good, ranking 12th in the NFL last season. I don't know about you guys, but being ranked 12th in the NFL is a far cry from being able not to throw a deep ball at all. And while Trey Lance may have a stronger arm, Purdy has been able to demonstrate an ability to get it done deep down the field in the NFL, according to the statistics. So now with it dispelled that Purdy just can't throw it deep, I want to look at an area where Purdy actually excelled last year. And that was short to intermediate areas on the field. This area is a great upgrade compared to Garoppolo. Garoppolo last year threw 19.2% of his pass attempts in this area and completed 62.7% of them. That's respectable, but Purdy did way more. He had a pretty similar attempt rate at 19.7%, but he completed a crazy high number of 80.4% of his passes in the intermediate range. That mark led the league by 12 percentage points. The distance between Purdy and number 2 was the same distance between number 2 and number 30 in the league, just demonstrating the efficiency Purdy plays with in the Niners offense. Purdy also just has demonstrated he's a better decision maker than Garoppolo, utilizing throwaways to keep the ball out of harm's way. In the comparison, Jimmy Garoppolo threw away 4 times last year, where Purdy threw it away 11 times. So Purdy, compared to Garoppolo, was willing to live for the next down. And I think this is something that many great quarterbacks realize. Tom Brady realizes it, Peyton Manning. They don't force the play. Rather, they realize it's a long game and you can't be perfect for 70 plays, but rather to try to make the best out of each play and not trying to do too much, which sometimes Jimmy Garoppolo would try to do, which led to huge negative plays. And frankly, you didn't see too many of those with Purdy. Speaking about throwaways, we needed to speak about Brock Purdy and Jimmy Garoppolo's decision making a little bit more. Brock Purdy was able to dissect the defense way better than Jimmy Garoppolo was able to throughout his time with the Niners. I suspect that Brock Purdy will be able to get better as the years progress and he gets more snaps in the Niners offense. He's already said he understands the offense way more than he did last year, which is scary considering a Purdy-led offense put up right around 30 points a game last year. Another way in which Purdy supercharges the Niners offense is his ability to scramble and just get away from pressures at time. I want to go over Purdy's athletic profile first, just to understand why he's able to make certain players just look kind of silly at times. His 40-yard dash is nothing special, running it in 4.84 seconds. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not eye-popping. But the eye-popping part is his 10-yard split. It's 1.55 seconds. And if you've been watching this channel, you know that's incredibly fast. That's the same as Christian McCaffrey's. The 10-yard split is just how long it takes a player to reach from 0 to 10 yards in their 40-yard dash. But this measures their short yard quickness, their ability to burst. And you see this with Brock Purdy being able to make these moves on guys and get away from guys that you might expect to be faster than him. But this isn't the case because he has that quickness. So with all these big positives being talked about Brock Purdy's play last year, we need to speak about the major injury that happened to Brock Purdy. He tore his UCL, and while he didn't have to have full-on Tommy John surgery, he has an internal brace on and recently actually started throwing. And according to everyone, everything's going according to plan. He's throwing 3 times a week and then resting in between throwing. And right now, he's actually working with Will Helwit, which is his throwing coach coming out of the draft. Working with him, he was able to add 5 miles to his ball. And right now, they're just trying to make sure that Purdy doesn't have any lapses in his mechanical throwing motion. Purdy also will be gaining his strength during this period. And according to all reports, Purdy should be able to go week 1. So while Purdy was a refined college prospect coming out and proved to be ready for the NFL stage, there are areas in which Purdy can improve his game, maybe even a little bit more. A big area is stepping up in the pocket rather than spinning out of the pocket. He often spun out of the pocket, which could lead to more injuries in the future, which is something that Purdy needs to be aware of, considering he's kind of a small quarterback at only 6'1" and around 215 pounds. Furthermore, with another year in Kyle Shanahan's offense, Purdy will be able to digest the nuances of the scheme, and with more reps, he'll get better understanding of how to play at the NFL level. And I thought that I saw Purdy improve throughout last year. He kept improving each time I saw him take the field, and no moment was too big for him at all. He won a couple playoff games and honestly didn't really get a fair shot during that Eagles game, but nonetheless still went out there and battled, which is what you love to see from your starting or franchise quarterback. San Francisco has been telling us they view Purdy as a franchise quarterback as well. I mean, Lynch came out and flat out said Purdy is the leader of the clubhouse. And I know a big argument has been once teams get a little bit of film on Brock Purdy, it's over. They're going to be able to find out his weaknesses, and once they face him a couple times, they'll get him hemmed in. That didn't happen last year when Brock Purdy faced the Seattle Seahawks a couple times, and there's been players who have been able to make it in the league despite having a limited skill set. Examples have been Tom Brady, Joe Montana even didn't have the strongest arm. So this year, I wouldn't be surprised if Brock Purdy comes back, lights the league on fire, maybe even wins Comeback Player of the Year, and leads the Niners to Super Bowl aspirations, and hopefully even wins one for them. These are just my thoughts on Brock Purdy as a player and the stats to back it up. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And I'm not trying to bag on Trey Lance or anything like that. I also think Trey Lance is a good player, just to clarify. This is just my thoughts on Brock Purdy as a player. I'd appreciate you guys to also like and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. It truly means a ton. I hope you guys have a great day.